I think that clinical education is very, very important. And I'm very glad that IILM has a legal aid clinic. The second thing which I have learnt today in the meeting is that IILM has adopted 4 villages. All right, now adopted 4 villages means the students go there, they tell them about what are their legal rights. All right, women have legal rights, children have legal rights. Are they spreading that information or that knowledge? The second is, do they require legal assistance? Then these students can provide legal assistance right then and there. So that outreach, so to speak, with the 4 villages, I think is also very important and should be taken very seriously.
At IILM Law School, we don't just learn the law, we learn to shape the future. For over 30 years, IILM has been redefining education, and our students, we are a part of a legacy of leadership and innovation.
Here, education goes beyond the ordinary, from interdisciplinary courses to hands-on learning. Every program, BBLLB, BALLB, LLB and LLM, empowers us with the skills and confidence to compete in this world.
What makes IILM different? It's the way we bridge theory and practice. Moot courts, internships, and real-life experiences not only help us understand the law, but to lead with it. My LLM specialization in cyber law is helping me explore one of the fastest growing fields in the legal industry.
The opportunities here are endless. Our governing body includes legal luminaries like Mr. Justice Madan B, Lokur, and with 16,000 alumni worldwide, we're part of a network that provides endless possibilities for us.
IILM Law School is where future-ready professionals are made. From cutting-edge electives like AI and human rights advocacy to our advanced research facilities, we are equipped to lead in a rapidly changing world.
This is where global leaders are made.
This is where innovation meets opportunity. This is where we become the change makers of tomorrow.
From specialization-focused law degree and society-focused law in BALLB.
Today, IILM celebrates 30 years of excellence in higher education with a vision of being global, inclusive, and responsible. But how did we get here? Our story began in Delhi in the 1980s with the vision of its founder, Dr. Kulwant Rai. The roots of the institution began with the Banyan Tree School in 1986, which was followed by the establishment of IILM in 1993. Thereafter, several milestones were accomplished, one of which was the collaboration with University of Bradford in 1996 that made us the pioneers of international management education in India. In the latter half of the 90s, we launched the annual cultural festival iMosaic, our first referred journal, Management of Change, and also had the privilege to welcome Dr. Manmohan Singh to the convocation ceremony in 1997. With the coming of the digital age, IILM went online with the privilege to welcome His Holiness the Dalai Lama at our campus in 2005. And in 2007, we were blessed to have with us Shri Murari Bapuji for our Founders Day celebration. Every year, IILM confers the Global Thinker Award to distinguished thought leaders and stalwarts. In 2008, this award was presented to Professor C.K. Prahlad. In 2009, IILM signed the MOU with Indira Gandhi National Open University to jointly develop innovative and cost-effective programs in design at both the undergraduate and world under the 3 palms of excellence. That year, our students continued to soar greater heights and won the prestigious NASA Rover Challenge in United States of America. In our endeavor to stay ahead with times and work on skill development in India, IILM signed an MOU with National Skill Development Corporation in 2015. In 2017, IILM Greater Noida received the NAC Grade A accreditation. In the same year, our engineering students won Innovation Challenge in New York for PRME led by the UN Global Compact Leaders Summit. In 2018, our Greater Noida campus was awarded by ASSOCHAM as the best planned ecologically balanced campus in India. A moment of pride was to see over 15,000 alumni successfully established across India and abroad. With each passing year, we continue to strengthen our network with industry experts and better established ourselves in the world. In 2018, our MBA program was ranked 13 by EduNiversal, and the year saw the inauguration of IILM University Gurugram by Honorable Vice President Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu.
I am also glad to know that the university mission is in sync with the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Bhai Modi to create a new India on the basis of inclusive economic development through education and skill development among students. Education is important, skill development is important, skill upgradation, and also inclusive development. That's the need of the hour.
In the year 2022, a momentous occasion unfolded at IILM University in Gurugram, Haryana. The Honorable Governor of Haryana, Shri Bandaru Dattatreya, graced the second annual convocation to bestow degrees upon the graduating undergraduates. IILM College of Engineering and Technology achieved a significant milestone, ascending to the status of a full-fledged university. In an effort to provide students with the ultimate technological advantage, IILM University signed a groundbreaking MOU with the IBM Innovation Center for Education. The quest for educational excellence continued as IILM University established the first National Education Policy 2020 compliant law school in India at its Greater Noida campus. Moving ahead to 2023, IILM University Gurugram organized a one-day conference on skill, employability and entrepreneurship, fostering a platform to discuss critical aspects of students' future success in the job market. IILM University successfully hosted the 10th PRME International Conference, an initiative of the United Nations Global Compact. The university's celebration of Words in the Garden entered its 5th edition with the theme Dilli Ki Mahilaएं, highlighting the spirit of innovation and creativity of women in Delhi. Continuing to redefine excellence in legal education, IILM's second National Moot Court competition set a new benchmark for future competitions, attracting legal minds from across the country. IILM University proudly hosted the Lawyers Conference, bringing together eminent legal experts and educators to explore teaching and experiential learning in law. Committed to environmental awareness, IILM partnered with the National Mission for Clean Ganga to instill a sense of responsibility for the environment among its students. IILM's international conference emphasized the urgent need for extensive collaboration to secure a sustainable future for the planet. In a significant leadership transition, Mr. Bharat Kaushal assumed the position of Chancellor at IILM University, Greater Noida, embarking on a journey to transform the educational landscape. Empowering women leaders in higher education took center stage during a historic conference hosted by IILM. As IILM University continues to push boundaries and inspire innovation, it remains steadfast in its commitment to nurturing future leaders and creating a better world through education. IILM University, where knowledge meets excellence, shaping tomorrow's leaders today.
I think that clinical education is very, very important. And I'm very glad that IILM has a legal aid clinic. The second thing which I have learnt today in the meeting is that IILM has adopted 4 villages. All right, now adopted 4 villages means the students go there, they tell them about what are their legal rights, all right? Women have legal rights, children have legal rights. Are they spreading that, information or that knowledge? The second is, do they require legal assistance? Then these students can provide legal assistance right then and there. So that outreach, so to speak, with the 4 villages, I think is also very important and should be taken very seriously.
At IILM Law School, we don't just learn the law, we learn to shape the future. For over 30 years, IILM has been redefining education, and our students, we are a part of a legacy of leadership and innovation.
Here, education goes beyond the ordinary, from interdisciplinary courses to hands-on learning. Every program, BB LLB, BA LLB, LLB and LLM, empowers us with the skills and confidence to compete in this world.
What makes IILM different? It's the way we bridge theory and practice. Moot courts, internships, and real-life experiences not only help us understand the law, but to lead with it. My LLM specialization in cyber law is helping me explore one of the fastest growing fields in the legal industry.
The opportunities here are endless. Our governing body includes legal luminaries like Mr. Justice Madan B, Lokur, and with 16,000 alumni worldwide, we're part of a network that provides endless possibilities for us.
IILM Law School is where future-ready professionals are made. From cutting-edge electives like AI and human rights advocacy to our advanced research facilities, we are equipped to lead in a rapidly changing world.
This is where global leaders are made.
This is where innovation meets opportunity. This is where we become the change makers of tomorrow.
From specialization-focused law degree and society-focused law in BA LLB.
Today, IILM celebrates 30 years of excellence in higher education with a vision of being global, inclusive, and responsible. But how did we get here? Our story began in Delhi in the 1980s with the vision of its founder, Dr. Kulwant Rai. The roots of the institution began with the Banyan Tree School in 1986, which was followed by the establishment of IILM in 1993. Thereafter, several milestones were accomplished, one of which was the collaboration with University of Bradford in 1996 that made us the pioneers of international management education in India. In the latter half of the 90s, we launched the annual cultural festival iMosaic, our first referred journal, Management of Change, and also had the privilege to welcome Dr. Manmohan Singh to the convocation ceremony in 1997. With the coming of the digital age, IILM went online with its website in 1998. It also established its second campus in Jaipur. The year also saw the launch of the Roshni Rai School that paved the way to free education for the economically weaker sections of society. In 1999, with immense pride, we held the first convocation of our undergraduate batch. Subsequently, the 5th annual convocation for the postgraduate batch had Mr. Arun Jaitley as the chief guest. 2001 marked the establishment of IILM Engineering Campus.
Requesting you for no movement in the auditorium now.
Distinguished guests, faculty and students, it is a pleasure to be here this afternoon as we honor one of the finest legal minds in the country. We are here to honor Justice Madan B. Lokur on his appointment as Chairperson of the United Nations Internal Justice Council. As Chairman of IILM University's Law School's governing body, Justice Lokur's leadership has been instrumental in shaping our institution's vision of contemporary legal education. Our law schools in Gurugram and Greater Noida offer over 50 specializations spanning business law, constitutional law, human rights, and emerging fields like law and artificial intelligence and sports law. Through our partnerships with leading law firms and intellectual centers, we prepare our students for the evolving legal landscape. Justice Lokur's illustrious career includes serving as Supreme Court Justice from 2012 to 2018. In 2019, he also made history as the first Indian judge appointed to the Supreme Court of Fiji's non-resident panel, exemplifying the global reach of Indian judicial expertise. We are also honored by the presence of Dr. S.Y. Qureshi, the former Chief Election Commissioner of India and Chancellor Emeritus of IILM University, Gurugram, whose public service continues to inspire our academic community. I would like to request Dr. Qureshi and Mr. Kapil Sibal, former law minister, member of parliament, and of course one of the leading lawyers of this country, to please present a shawl and an idol of Goddess Saraswati to Justice Lokur on stage. Please come. आज मेरी सीट यहाँ है. Congratulations, sir. I'd like to first invite Dr. Qureshi to come up here and say a few words.
I found a few words from ChatGPT. I've known Justice Lokur for more than 50 years because his elder brother was my classmate. And of course, we were very good friends and we used to talk about family issues also and have known about him from then. A man of impeccable integrity from childhood. And he has lived that life all these years. Nidhi has already mentioned about him, his career. He is from St. Stephen's College. That is one thing I would like to mention. After that, the law faculty in the usual route which every judge has through various rungs of the judiciary. But it is the quality of his work, the quality of judgment for which he is still remembered and known worldwide. In fact, somebody said, Nidhi said, one of the finest judicial minds. I would say one of the finest human beings. He is a very humane, very wonderful person, and it is such an honor to have association with him. He is the chairman of IILM Law School. I will just tell you a few things which Nidhi did not. He has been Chief Justice of 3 High Courts, which perhaps is not all that common. And then he is the only judge anywhere in the world, correct me sir if I'm wrong, who has served as a judge in another sovereign country, Fiji, for 6 years. There's been no such example anywhere. All of us to be proud of. There are several judgments which are mentioned, but one because of his dishonesty. That is something which I learned from my research assistant, technical research assistant. So, with these few words, sir, I welcome you. I would also like to thank Mr. Kapil Sibal. I'm proud that he was my classmate, and I'm also proud to say that I got 2 marks more than him. Actually, because his father was very, very prominent legal luminary. I was in Haryana cadre, So one of his brothers was my boss. So my association with him goes back also since 1964. So thank you, Kapil, for accepting, bless us and join us on this very happy occasion. Thank you very much.
I'll take that opportunity to invite Mr. Kapil Sibal now to come up and speak. He needs no introduction. He's now, of course, a member of parliament. You'll see him arguing fiercely in the Supreme Court. He's telling me not to flatter him, but we have to flatter you a little bit.
What can I say about Madan? I remember when I started practice in the High Court in Delhi. We also started practice there, and we used to meet each other in the corridor. It's a very quiet council. And part of the reason why I succeeded was that when he thought that justice was on my side, he never really opposed it. But that's his DNA. Became a judge, Chief Justice of Guwahati, Chief Justice of Andhra, came to Supreme Court in 2012. Had a long tenure of 6 years in that court. And in a sense, you know, his fellow beings all over the world, other places, actually are greatly respected in our DNA as well. So, Madan, we are really proud of, I think proud not just as an Indian, but proud of the fact that you have traveled so far from being a young advocate in the Delhi High Court to being a member of the UN Internal Justice Council. But I must tell you a little reality about these things. The UN is a very peculiar organization. And just as you have politics in court, there's a lot of politics in the United Nations as well. And that's true of all institutions, in fact. And knowing you, being the chairperson, you will, I am sure, do what is expected of you and expected of you in the context of the fact that we in India believe that when a man of your caliber, your stature, your integrity, your intelligence sits on that chair, the United Nations will know that here was a man who changed the way we worked. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sibal. And with that, I would like to invite Justice Lokur to address all of us. Many congratulations, sir. May I also say how personally I have admired you over the years. It has been a pleasure to interview you, to talk to you on the major constitutional issues facing our country, of which there's no dearth, as you know. And you've always spoken your mind and stood up for the right causes. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Nidhi. Good evening to everybody who's here, the distinguished guests, and of course all the students. It's nice to see young, fresh faces over here. Well, I must first of all thank IILM for organizing this felicitation. It's really a great honor for me to be here, to be felicitated by all of you. You know, when I first was invited to join the Internal Justice Council, I had absolutely no idea what it was all about. But in a short discussion, I was told that you know, the idea was really administrative and not judicial. So the idea was that you know, I'd look after the council of which I was to be the chairperson. We would look after the administrative affairs of the justice delivery systems within the United Nations, which was fine so far as I was concerned, because having spent a long time in the judiciary in India and then again 6 years in Fiji, I think I had decided enough cases over a period of about 25 or 26 years. So really administrative work which could improve the justice system within the United Nations was interesting
And now I find that I've got into the groove, so to speak. I find that it's a bit challenging. So as Kapil said, it's not only politics, but there's a lot of bureaucracy also involved in the United Nations. So I would just like to tell you a little bit about the work that the Internal Justice Council is expected to do, which is what I was briefed about. We have courts. The United Nations has courts in New York, in Paris, and in Nairobi. And judges are appointed to these courts by the General Assembly. The Internal Justice Council is expected to recommend judges to the General Assembly, and then the General Assembly will decide whether to accept the recommendation or not to accept the recommendation. Earlier the system was that if there was a vacancy, then the council would recommend one person for appointment, and the General Assembly would either accept it or reject the nomination, and then the process would start all over again. But last year, the Assembly decided that for every vacancy that arises in these courts, the council should make a recommendation of 2 or 3 persons at least. Now, as luck would have it, between now and July of next year, there are going to be 9 vacancies. So we are expected to make a recommendation of between 18 to 27 persons. Now, there are 2 things that I've learnt from this. One is that in our justice system in India, when the vacancy arises, then a recommendation is made, okay? And it takes its own time. It goes to the collegium in the Supreme Court, and then it goes to the government, then it goes to the president, and so on, and it takes its own time. But in the United Nations system, like I had mentioned, vacancies which are going to arise in July 2026, we have started actually the process of finding out who are the best persons. So the planning has to be done well in advance. That is one thing. The second thing is the method of selection of judges. Here in India, of course, we have our own system where the Chief Justice of the High Court, the Collegium of the High Court, and the Collegium of the Supreme Court make recommendations. But in the United Nations system, there is an examination that is conducted. So some time back, we had finalized the question paper, which is to be distributed. An advertisement has been issued all over the world, inviting applications. Those who apply and who are eligible, they will be subjected to this examination. Now, a couple of days ago, when we had about 40 applications, and interestingly, only one application came from the Asia Pacific region. So while we have the talent, which Kapil mentioned, it's not being utilized to its potential. So there is nobody, from India, definitely I know, that Asia Pacific, there's only one person. Of course, there is still some time for the last date, and hopefully there will be some applications. So that is one aspect. All right. Now the problem starts after the the question paper is distributed and the answers are received. In the past, I've been told that they get something like 300 applications, which means that we are going to have to correct 300 answer sheets. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to get 300. So that's a lot of work, okay? And it's not as if, I'm the only person who has to do it. We've got members in the council. One is from Paraguay, one is from the United States, one is from Austria, and one is from Australia. So apart from Africa, every continent is represented in the council. And then we interview these persons who we think should be appointed, and make a recommendation to the General Assembly, which is going to meet in October. I don't know whether they will take a call in October, but probably they will take a call when they meet in October on the appointment process. That's one aspect which is, keeping us busy at the moment. The other aspect that is keeping us busy is the improvement in the justice system. So the United Nations has several bodies, for example, UNICEF, which all of us have heard of, UNDP, all right. So there are several organizations within the United Nations. What do they feel about the justice system within the United Nations? That is important. So we are going to have a meeting with, we've invited, suggestions from all these organizations. I think there are about 18 or 20 of them. We've invited suggestions from all of them, and they are going to tell us as stakeholders in the justice system that this is where there is a problem, and this is what we think is the solution, or this is something which is good but it can be improved, so that is something which they will discuss with us. We've set aside 1 week for these discussions. So that is again a very important aspect, because for the first time, as far as I'm concerned, there will be a discussion with the stakeholders on understanding the justice system and improving the justice system. In India, we don't have that kind of a discussion. Who are the stakeholders? The government, of course, is one of the important stakeholders. Most of the cases in the courts are filed by the government. The ordinary litigant, all right, he or she also is a stakeholder. Judges are, of course, stakeholders. Organizations are stakeholders. But we don't have this, kind of a discussion with them to find out what is it that can be done, where can we improve the existing systems. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a a great learning process where I think I can contribute in improving the justice system. Of course, at the end of the day, when the council gives its recommendations, and it's time bound, it's not that you can give your recommendation whenever you feel like it. The General Assembly has intimated us that the stakeholder consultation should be given by, I think, 15th of June. The recommendation for appointment of judges should be given by 15th of July. They've laid down these dates, so we have to stick to those dates. It's not that, take an adjournment and say, Acha, we can't do it on 15th of June, let's do it on 20th of June. It can't be like that. So we will then give our recommendations. They will be scrutinized by the Secretary General, his office, who will decide that yes, some are practical, some are not practical, some are acceptable, some are not acceptable. He will make his own, he will take his own call on this, and then forward everything to the General Assembly. And then the General Assembly will decide, whether to accept our recommendations or to modify them or not accept them. So it's a very interesting process. Like I said, for me, it's a learning process on how systems work across the world, justice systems work across the world, and what is it that we in India can learn from it. So the last couple of months that I've been involved in this process, I can tell you quite clearly that I have learnt a lot on how systems work and how, they can be adapted to our system here in India. Just one word, nothing to do with the UN Internal Justice Council, but when I was a judge in the Supreme Court of Fiji, one of the things that I found very interesting, two things that I found very interesting. One was that the entire court proceedings, it was not being video recorded, it was being recorded, the oral discussions were being recorded. And I'm talking about 2019. our Supreme Court adopted it sometime last year or year before last, but they've been doing it since 2019, at least maybe earlier also. That is one, which is something which I'm sure we can try and adopt in our system. The second important thing that I learned was that there's a time limit to submissions made by lawyers. The time limit was 40 minutes. So the lawyer for the petitioner has 40 minutes, the lawyer for the respondent has 40 minutes. That's it. So the judges have to be prepared, fully prepared with the case, and we give them time. It just so happened that except for 2 cases that I remember where the lawyers exceeded the time, and President of the Supreme Court Bar Association will appreciate, I read in the newspaper sometime back that lawyers had requested for access to the judges' library in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court apparently has not agreed. When I went to Fiji, small country, not a developed country in that sense, I was very keen to see the library, to see what kind of books they have. And I told my secretary that I would like to go to the library. And she said, yes, I'll talk to the librarian and, organize a visit. So this was on the 2nd or 3rd day. It didn't materialize. I didn't ask her. Next day I said that, how about taking me to the library? She said, yes, yes. So for about 4 or 5 days, she kept finding some excuse to ensure that I don't go to the library. Then on the 5th day, I said, listen, I'm going to the library, whether you like it or not, and you tell the librarian, I'd like to come and have a look. So I went, excellent library, wonderful library. And they had, case laws, reports from South Africa, England, Australia, and New Zealand, India also. Very good library. So I asked the librarian, I said that, why have you been resisting my coming to the library? And the answer she gave me surprised me. She said, the library is open till 3 o'clock for litigants, right? So the litigants would come to the library in the morning session, including some from the prison, persons who wanted to argue their cases, wanted to study the law. They would come till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And she said, because there are so many criminals, or persons who've been convicted and whose appeals are pending, I didn't want you to come because you'd be, meeting all those criminals. So, now that is the difference. Where here, perhaps lawyers are not given access to the judges' library, but there even criminals are given access to the judges' library. So, there's a lot to learn, from these kind of things. And I would hope and expect, the students who are studying law to look at some of these issues, so that we are in a position to improve our systems and give justice to the people of our country. So thank you very much, IILM, Qureshi Saab, Kapil Sibbal, and Nidhi. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very inspiring talk. I think when you spoke about what a big country like India can learn from a body like the United Nations, its systems, from a small country like Fiji, there is a huge lesson there for us. And the judiciary is one of the biggest pillars of our democracy, or at least we still hope so. So I hope that it can learn something from that and from your experience. Thank you very much to you, and congratulations again, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Sibbal and Dr. Qureshi. And to all of you here, please give a big round of applause to our panel. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, 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 hello.